Dead people need love too. So says Corpse Bride co-director Mike Johnson. He's here, and he's got puppets. Yay! Plus, if you love the smell of napalm in the morning, you're gonna love today's First 50. If you don't, well, then I can't speak for you. And Game Tunnel's Russell Carroll wants to show you this year's best independent games, and we're not about to try and stop him now. We've got everything from a diddle-eyed Joe to a damned if I know on Attack of the Show!
Pick up on this.
Television audience, welcome to Attack of the Show. I'm Kevin Pereira. I know you missed me.
Oh,
well, you
terribly.
didn't miss me.
No, not really.
Brendan did for sure. Brendan, how's it going, buddy?
Where were you?
I was in Japan, hanging out with the geisha girls.
Where is that?
Harajuku. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure.
How was that, Kevin?
Awesome. I'm jet lagged and I'm cranky. And I
But
really don't want to be
you
here.
look great, though.
That's all that matters. It's the miracle of makeup. Will O'Neill, guest host for this week, trying out for the old permanent gig position.
Yeah, I'm back again.
And you're qualified. You're responsible. You should be here.
I'm as much of a hack as Sean Baby, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we figured as much, and that's pretty hackish. No, you are qualified to be at the old home base for the Attack of the Show. Why don't you tell the folks at home what you do?
Well, I can read.
You can.
Like you.
You can.
And I'm basically a technology guy, gadget coverage for CNET. I used to work at Computer Gaming World magazine for 4 years as their hardware guy.
So the games and the gadgets, and you can read. You're a triple threat.
Read. There you go. That's all you need.
Brendan should be worried.
He sounds perfect, Kevin.
Sign him now. Bring in the lawyers.
And I'm much prettier than Brendan.
Wow.
Really?
Wow, that stung. That stung. I don't know about that one. How was that last week?
I just got my hair cut, Will. I don't know if you knew that. Well,
right.
Last week was good. It's nice to have some dudes.
Yeah, it's Boy Week.
It's not Boy Week. No, it's not Boy Week.
Yeah.
Nobody wants Boy Week.
That didn't go over so well.
No.
It's Guy Week.
No. We're fighting for whatever viewers we can get. We don't need to say, hey, it's nothing but a sausage fest all week here on Attack of the Show. Woo! Yeah,
man.
pitch your
See,
tents.
That's
all
gross.
right.
Next. Moving on.
Something happened on Friday. It's been happening all weekend. It's still happening today, at least the last time I checked. There's currently a very serious viral outbreak within the World of Warcraft, Will.
I'm going to try my best not to just laugh through this whole next segment.
I don't see if that's how you cope with the pain of the disease, that's you
I'm
laugh
immature.
away.
I'm immature.
Well, this is a terrible thing. Brendan knows all about this, right?
We all can give a little more.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
You know?
Clearly.
Yeah, we can.
The virus was intended for high-level characters that can handle the hit point, like the debuff. But apparently these high-level characters escaped. The story goes, here's a video just to kind of demonstrate what's going on here. There was a blood god. I think his name was Hakar, and he would cast a debuff on people that would do like 250 to 300
That happens
points of
all
damage.
the time in clubs that I go to.
With Hakar's hanging out, and he's just spreading around the blood disease.
Spreading blood diseases.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, here, have this. No, use needle, not cool. He'll give you the disease, and the problem is that some people ran away from the instance.
I can't stop laughing when you say he'll give you the disease.
No, look, clearly these people are diseased. They're spewing red blood from their eyes and ears and any other orifice that's available, and it will affect any and all those around the person who's diseased. So these high-level guys ran out of the game, and now it's being passed around by cities.
It's a terrible tragedy.
It's an
human
epidemic.
tragedy.
It's sad. It's
really, a pandemic.
Exactly.
If you will.
At this point, and you should, and I will, and everybody else will. It's a big deal. Blizzard's tried to quarantine them. No fix just yet, but we want to know that we feel for everybody out there. Hopefully they get it fixed.
Well, I guess people can just shut down their computers and go outside or something.
Exactly. Netvibes.com. Now, Microsoft launched a new start page.
Microsoft, that company, what do they do?
Software for computers.
I hear it's buggy.
A little bit, but they have a new start page that's out there, and this is something that I found that I think is already a free alternative that's even better. It's called netvibes.com, completely programmed in Ajax, which is great to snort as well as program in. And so here's netvibes.com. It says type your page title right here, so we can go Will's super awesome page of doom. There we go. You only have
I think you spelled Will wrong there.
Yeah, you have one L, I'm told.
Yeah, it's a total affectation. I think it's cool.
The page is already cooler, having written that. And so, as you can see, we've got your Gmail account here.
Awesome.
Web searches, little notes. The weather, we're not in New York, so let me just click edit. Let me tell it where I'm from. Let me get the old Let me see. No, our zip is 90064. I'll hit save. And as you see, what it's doing is it's displaying all your favorite RSS feeds out here.
Okay.
Let's see, like
Yeah.
Boing Boing. If I want to pop open a story, it can pop up. I
Okay.
can go through the latest stories.
That's pretty cool.
Nice and
Yeah.
quick and
Yeah.
clean looking.
It's very nice.
And this is how easy it is to add something. First, let me just say I'm going to add content. I want to add, let me see, I want to just add a feed. So let me give it a link to like the Attack of the Show blog feed. I'm going to hit add. It's verifying the feed. Boom, right there.
Awesome.
And you know, it's AOTB because it's Attack of the Blog, but I can change that.
Okay.
And just to close the edit. And literally, I can customize the page however I want. If I want to drag and drop things, fully customized,
Wow.
super quick,
It's
super
like you're
clean.
like a tech genius or something.
Exactly, but it's free.
I said like.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's a fake. It's a fake wizard cap. They're doing all the work for me in the
Okay.
back end, but not bad, right?
No, it's pretty cool.
You're gonna use Net Vibes, Brendan?
Probably not.
Okay. And finally,
That was funny.
well, I was at the TGS, the Tokyo Game Show,
Yes.
in Japan,
Okay.
which is why I wasn't here last week.
Exactly.
I saw Mizuguchi's new game,
Okay.
Tetsuya Mizuguchi.
Let's
You know,
check it out.
He did Rez. He did a
Yeah.
whole bunch of new of music games. He did Luminesce for the PSP.
Okay.
His game is called E3. It's
All right.
like every extend
Yeah.
something. And my buddy Justin told me that it was actually based off of a downloadable PC game that was out a while ago
Okay.
called E2. I didn't believe him. I actually called him a liar and punched him in the ovary.
That's
But it
awesome.
turns out it's really a game. Every extend, and it's a free download. So you load it up. And
Justin was right about something.
he was absolutely right. I'll
He
never
must
say
have
it to
read
his
about
face,
that on the
but-
interweb.
Oh yeah, clearly he doesn't do his own research. But I don't know. If maybe you can explain it. What's going on?
Well, okay, you have to explain this because you've been playing it all morning.
That's true. I'm
I'm not
actually
going to play
rather
this because it
addicted
looks
to
like it's totally addictive, and you know I have enough problems with addiction.
It really is. It's kind of like a shooter. You
Yeah.
drive this crosshair around.
And then you blow yourself up.
It's about time.
It's like a suicide shooter.
It's exactly what it is. So I explode myself. As you can see, my blast radius goes out. And then if I hit other cubes in the screen, those explode as
Okay.
well. And if their radius hits anything,
And it
then
causes
there's
kind of a chain reaction.
Exactly. And
Okay.
so it's all about building up giant chain reactions. But then you quickly realize you're playing against the clock. You have to collect cubes for time. There's
Yeah.
big boss battles.
Okay.
And eventually it will turn into like a
Yeah.
pretty standard shooter because enemies will come at you that
Yeah.
shoot giant blue bullets. You know,
But then
that
you get to
pulsate.
blow them up though, which is
Of course.
all good.
And it's fun because you know you're not shooting bullets at them. You're trying to. Here's an enemy right there,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to avoid him and explode things around him to cause. Look at that. First try. Chain reaction. Enemy goes down.
Wow.
And I once again prove why I'm such a professional gamer.
Your skills are unrivaled.
Man, the ladies love it.
Do
ladies
they?
love it. No, they don't.
I
They
didn't
don't.
think so.
But it's a free demo. It's E2. It's
Okay.
available, and I was gone last week, so it's time to get some gaming back in the show. So I'm going to shoehorn it in.
Nice, you do that. I hear you're good at that.
I am
Okay.
very good. Today, we're taking your calls. Actually, we're going to give your calls to Corpse Bride co-director Mike Johnson, much more important than either of us. Ask him about rigor mortis or what a puppet version of Johnny Depp is really like. The number, in case you forgot, it's right there, 800-839-7880, or you can email us. It's the Attack of the Show /Ask Us. That's the website. There's a .com in there.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, of course you can
They
chat
know how
with
to
us.
do it.
Well, no, they need to be reminded
Okay.
constantly. Chat.g4tv.com. That's our IRC chat room.
All right, and now speaking of cold dead things, here's some commercials. But after that, Corpse Bride's Mike Johnson will explain why having a pulse is overrated.
It is.
A little bit.
Gamers, as you are aware, the people of Azeroth are dying. Those who've come in contact with the god of blood Hakar in the Zul'Gurub instance are falling victim to an unforgiving and fatal disease. Now, this plague does not discriminate between shaman, paladin, troll, between level 3s and level 50s. No. Make no mistake, we are all at risk. But if you're thinking, there's nothing I can do to stop corrupted blood from spreading, you are wrong. You can help. If you or someone you know is infected with Hakar's corrupted blood disease, gather for a moment of solidarity and support in the main square of the city of Ironforge. There will be information booths, grief counselors, and free clinics available to help us all through this time of uncertainty and sadness. Plus, you too will be able to buy a commemorative dwarf ear, like the one I'm wearing here, to help raise money and show your support for Corrupted Blood's victims. Remember, it's our world of Warcraft, and we can make a difference. After working on A Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, and now Tim Burton's Corpse Bride, we realize that producer/director Mike Johnson likes to play with dolls. But unlike you, he gets money and critical acclaim for it. See, that's the big difference. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thanks.
That's an important distinction to make. Most of the audience, big doll fans, don't make a living with it.
No, it's a rare opportunity to get paid to play with dolls.
So now tell me, this is Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. It's like it's an emo goth stop motion version of Wedding Crashers. Is that a fair assessment?
I guess you could call it that. Yeah.
No, tell me, what's the concept of the film here?
Well, it's inspired by an old Russian folktale. It's about a guy who is on his way to his wedding, and as he practices the vows, he mistakenly places the ring on what he assumes is a root coming out of the ground, but it's the hand of a dead woman.
And that'll get you every time. Yeah. If not arrested, it'll a hell of a story to tell from Vegas.
Yeah.
So that's the premise. Now you worked with Tim Burton on this film. What is it like working with Tim? How do you actually split up the duties between you guys? Because you're both directors on the film, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's an organic process, really. We just sort of pass it back and forth. We never sat down and decided who's directing what sequences. It's just kind of a collaboration.
Mm-hmm. So he doesn't actually storm onto the set with a megaphone and start barking orders, and you have to cower in the corner or anything?
No.
Very nice. So actual teamwork, that's good to hear. And I want to talk about the technology behind the film, because traditionally these were shot using actual film cameras, and not the case with the Corpse Bride.
Yeah, for Corpse Bride we used digital still cameras, just consumer-level cameras that you could buy in any store, and then we just strung the still images together, and that's what gave us our, the stop motion.
So literally just a consumer-grade camera, so it's a couple megapixels, and you put it on a tripod. It's got to be a little bit.
Yeah, it's a high-end thing. We were grabbing 8-megapixel images, and then those were processed in a very complicated way. But the cameras themselves they're just still cameras.
It's phenomenal. Now, how did that actually change the production schedule for you guys? I'm assuming it quickened the pace a little bit.
Yeah, it quickened the pace a lot, which really saved us and gave us more time to rehearse the animation or to do multiple takes if necessary on shots. So it helped us a lot.
So now what was it like working with the voice talent on this? Because I imagine, does the audio have to be laid down first with them, because then you have to animate to it, or? Yeah,
we record all the voice work first, and yeah, it was an amazing experience working with some of these people. The cast is incredible, and they bring so much to it. Yeah.
And do you find that that their performances will change the animation of the characters, the way that they do a certain inflection?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the animators are always very inspired by what the voice talent does, and it's the two coming together that really creates the shot.
Now, how do you know exactly? I'm sure as an animator yourself, this is one of the things you have to know and do. But how do you actually match? The mouth has to be open for X amount of seconds, and that's X amount of frames. Is there math involved? Do you have blueprints for that kind of a thing?
Yeah, we have sheets. They call them X sheets, and that's where all the sound is broken down frame by frame. It looks almost like a music sheet, and then the animator will know when to close the mouth on frame 32 or when a new word starts on frame 46. So they follow that. That's a guide.
So they're not flying completely blind and saying, oh, we'll fix it in post. And then you have an editor pulling his hair out angrily, kicking machines.
That happens sometimes, but hopefully not. Yeah.
Good. Now I want to talk about Ray Harryhausen for a second, because I know you're a bit of a fan. I'm told there might even be a tribute or two in the movie.
Yep, there's a little tip of the hat to Mr. Harryhausen that we slid in there, and I'm a big fan. Everyone who works in stop motion is a big fan of Ray Harryhausen. We wouldn't be here without him. So.
Right. And he even stopped by your set.
He stopped by the set one day, and that was a big thrill for everyone. We got the animators to come out of their dark cells and say hello to him. It was a good time. Now,
I thought that was interesting. You were not an animator on the film per se, so you directed animators.
Yeah, it's sort of like similar to the live action process, but instead of actors, I'm working with animators, and then they channel that direction into the puppets.
That's great. Now we mentioned that you're using consumer-grade cameras, using these digital still cameras. Has technology evolved in other ways for stop motion, or is it still pretty much the same old routine?
Well, it's the same technique that's been used since 1907. It's moving a puppet one frame at a time. But yeah, there are some advances. The cameras that's a big one, and also our puppets are more advanced than any puppets I've worked with before.
Mike, I would like to see that.
Well,
tell me you can show me what it's like.
I can show you a puppet.
Awesome. Mike, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
all right,
thanks.
We're not done with Mike. He said it. When he comes back, he's going to demonstrate stop-motion animation techniques using actual puppets from Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Stay tuned. We are back with Mike Johnson, who co-directed Corpse Bride with Tim Burton. Now, Mike's going to demonstrate his animation techniques using two of the film's actual puppets. We've got Victor, which is voiced by Johnny Depp in the movie, and Elder Gutnicht, which was voiced by Michael Goff. So, Mike, if we can start with Dr. Gutnicht here. What is this guy made out of? This was the actual puppet that was used in the film, correct?
Yeah, this is a real puppet. He's made out of a combination of plastic, resin, and brass and steel for his armature. We had to get these really thin bones that could withstand the stress of being animated. So the bones are actually cast in metal.
It's incredible. And what I love is, and everybody's been saying this, is that up close, these things look amazing. So many times you see movie props and you can tell where they cheated with paint or CG or anything else, but these guys look incredible down to the last detail.
Yeah, well, we knew we were going to shoot a lot of close-ups, and so yeah, they really have to hold up projected on the big screen.
So how does this guy actually function? What is he? I mean, I'm told that he's mechanical, but I don't see wires and batteries. So is it?
Well, mechanical in the sense that he's all hinged and jointed. So, an animator would come in here and move the hand up. Of course, it would take much longer than this takes.
Right.
And, he can scratch his head. He has a little flip-top skull there. And also, this is how they would make him talk. The jaw opens and closes. So it's kind of a simple mechanism, but it works for a character like this. It's just bones.
But for 1 second of film, how many actual pictures and stills are there?
Yeah, for 1 second of film, we would need to shoot 24 individual stills.
Wow, it's a lot of pictures, a lot of JPEGs going on. Now let's go to Victor here. Now tell me the fundamental difference between Victor and Van Gucht.
Well, Victor's a much more complicated puppet. He has flesh, so he has a much wider range of expression. So the puppet builders had to come up with a system that could emote in a way that Johnny Depp, his vocal performance, emotes, and this is what they came up with. The inside of the head is fully geared. It looks like the back of a watch, really, if I were to peel the skin back. So an animator can put a little Allen key in the ear or in a hole on top of the head and make the mouth smile or frown.
Can we see that? I'd love to actually, and I would want to show. I mean, it's just an Allen key.
This is just an
fancy
Allen
going
key,
on.
yeah. So what they would do is they would access this hole here and crank it a few times, and you can see the jaw opens there.
That's incredible.
And, obviously it takes them much longer to do it than I'm showing you here.
Right,
But,
and I mean, you're drastically cranking it to show the differences,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's all about subtlety here. You can really
Yeah,
just
it's
subtly
all-
change every
yep.
facial expression.
Exactly. There are tiny gears in there. They can get as tiny of an increment as they need to get.
Now I see the ear holes there. I know there's one hidden in the top of the hair, but how do you change the eyebrow furrow, and how do you make characters
The
blink?
eyebrows work with paddles, so you can see that there's a paddle under the flesh here that he can go
that is-
down or come back up again. And
That is moderately morbid, Mike.
yeah.
But now what about blinking? Because I don't see any flesh for the skin. I don't see anything like that.
Yeah, well, blinking's a good question. That's a replacement cycle, and you can see we have something like this, which is a set of individual eyelids. There's probably 10 different pieces.
Oh, wow, here, if I can.
Yep.
I'll hold this up now. One just came out here. So
Yeah.
what are these? These are.
These are the individual eyelids that an animator will use to make Victor blink. Here, let me see. I'll grab number 4 here, and just to give you an idea of how it works.
And again, they'll have a sheet that says, okay, on this frame, he needs to have his eye halfway closed, or needs to look drowsy, or.
We use sheets for all the vocal, the voice stuff, but we leave it up to the animator to decide when a blink
Gotcha.
comes.
And
So-
this is halfway off the codeine
Yeah.
eyebrow there. Very nice.
Yeah.
And now what about legs and stuff like that? I mean, I'm assuming it's all just wire and then the hinges and stuff.
Yeah, well, there's wire in the fingertips, but other than that, it's stainless steel. The skeleton's made of stainless steel, and you can see here, he can. I mean, this ankle joint here is about the size of an eyeglass hinge, but it can hold the weight of the puppet and support it. So it's really a finely tuned, finely engineered piece of metal in
That's
there.
great. Well, now the movie's pretty much in the can. Where do these puppets end up? I'm assuming on eBay and in,
Well,
in your
hopefully
home
not
shelf.
on
No,
eBay. Yeah,
is there a graveyard for these guys? Will the parts be repurposed for perhaps a future film?
I don't think we'll ever repurpose them. I think they'll probably end up in a vault somewhere on Warner Brothers lot.
Very nice.
And we'll see.
It's incredible technology, Michael. Thank you
Hey,
so much for coming
thank
on and
you.
showing
It's
off.
great to be
we
here.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll have an exclusive clip from Tim Burton's Corpse Bride on Wednesday, but in the meantime, check out corpsebridemovie.com. It opens everywhere this Friday, September 23rd, and Michael will join us later for calls, so don't forget. Now, the show has never given up on you, so don't give up on the show, please. When we come back, we'll have the feed in its usual time slot, and, oh, what's this? A good GameCube game. Oh, come back to see if it's true or if I have completely lost my mind. But now, we've got to look at Metal Gear Solid 4 straight from the floors of the Tokyo Game Show. Enjoy.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We'll be taking your calls with Corpse Bride's Mike Johnson. Plus, we talk indie games with Game Tunnel's Russell Carroll. And this week's Boost Mobile Live Music Friday band is the Aquabats.
Yes! That's awesome.
Rock on.
Aquabats. Love it. Now, tie up the kids and break out the turpentine and paper bags. It's time for my first 50. Came back from TGS,
Okay.
fresh off some next-gen games.
Yeah.
A little sad that I had to go back to the current-gen games, but
I'm sure.
I was shocked to enjoy myself with a GameCube game.
Yeah.
Yet again, it's been happening a lot, Will.
It happens every now and then.
And I'm giddy over the. By the way, tangent aside, I mean, I hate to do this because I
Here
don't
we
kill
go.
my time, but the Revolution controller.
Yeah.
Are you excited for it? No, really?
I kind of get used to something, and it works for me, and I kind of just want to keep going with what works. I also wasn't in Japan, so I didn't get to actually see anything.
Okay, well, they didn't let
I'm
me
sorry,
touch
I
the
wasn't
thing.
there drinking the Kool-Aid like you.
They won't let me within 50 feet of Miyamoto or Reggie or
I
Iwata or
heard
any
that
of
they
them.
won't let you within 50 feet of a lot of things.
That is true, especially in Harajuku, but we'll talk about that later.
Brendan, Sarah.
Battalion Wars is the
Okay.
game that I played, so here, take a look at it.
Okay.
It starts you off with some wonderful tutorial missions.
All right.
Again, this is the first 50.
Okay.
Pretty simple, pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. Essentially, it was supposed to be like an Advanced Wars game. They dropped the Advanced Wars moniker, now
Okay.
it's Battalion Wars, but you see where all the influence is. It's a strategy action game. You are playing a squad leader who can control any member of the squad at any time, which is nice.
Yeah.
And it's got RTS-like elements where,
Okay.
thankfully, you're not mining for gold and lumber
yeah.
and oil.
Yeah.
The mission will give you whatever units you have to use.
You just jump in and start whooping on people.
Exactly, and
That's
that is the nice thing about it. Is
Yeah.
really like pick up and play. You
Okay.
go, but it's all about vehicles and it's all about squad combat. So here I am. I've met my squad, and with the simple press of a button, I can tell them to follow me. And you can see the little bars popping up
yeah.
above the squad guy there.
And he runs a lot like you. I've seen you running up and down the street. You know.
It's a little
Through West
fake.
Hollywood.
Yes, exactly. In a hurry, always for some reason.
Coming and going.
Well, pun intended, I hope. But here you can see the multiple units down at the bottom of the screen, so you can quickly, using the C-stick, you can go and select, okay, I want just my rocket guys to go and shoot these.
Yeah.
I just want my rifle guys to go and take out the infantry here.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's the sweet little vehicle battles,
Oh,
which,
yeah.
every game has to have vehicles now. So you can hop into any vehicle you want that you see. There are land vehicles, there are air vehicles. Here I am driving a Jeep Warthog-like controls.
Yeah.
You just point and go.
Okay. Cool.
Pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
Fun to blow stuff up. There are a few problems with it, though, I have
Such
to be
as?
honest. Like, well, for example, using the C-stick to select a squad and
Yeah.
trying to manage it. In the heat of battle,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you've got tanks approaching and there's guys dropping artillery
And you
on
have those little hands.
Well, I have dainty little fingers,
Yeah,
yes. But
yes.
I'm not going to blame this on my hands or the controller. I'm
I
blaming
hear
it
they're
on
really
the setup of the
soft.
game. They are, and you might experience. You won't.
Now I
Sorry.
feel sick.
You use the C-stick to go and select, the squad that you're going
Yeah.
to control, but you have to kind of bounce back and forth, and in the
Yeah.
heat of the moment,
Yeah, it's hard.
to go and say,
Yeah.
okay, well, I want the rifle guys here, and I want
Exactly.
the rocket guys here.
Yeah.
And when you go to lock on, it seems to kind of lock on to whatever it feels like in the area of your
okay.
cursor,
Yeah.
and not what
So
your
you're-
cursor is directly over.
So you're always sort of like moving around.
Yeah, and I accidentally told, my missile guys to go and attack
That happens to me all the time.
riflemen. It sucks.
Is it a buy, try, what?
It's actually a buy, though. I got to
Okay,
be honest.
well, there you go.
It's an intuitive game. It's fun, and if you're on a GameCube, you're probably hurting for it. So go for it.
And you heard it here, 30th,
30th.
as opposed to first.
Exactly. First. Next
That
time.
was a joke.
Next time you're playing the home game version of First 50, practice with Battalion Wars. Not bad.
Awesome.
Now grit your teeth and squeeze, because it's time for the feed.
What do Google, Star Wars, and German hackers have in common? Besides one very special fetish site? Well, nothing. Until now. A virus called P2Upload-A actually disguises itself as a Google page and will pretend to do actual Google searches. In reality, though, the search results are being manipulated by a German website in order to drive traffic to sites specified by the malware. The worm appears on your computer as an executable file called Knights of the Old Republic 2, after the well-known Star Wars role-playing game. If you click on the file, it infects your computer, and you'll never be able to trust that Google page again. So if you don't own a copy of Knights of the Old Republic 2 and it suddenly appears on your computer, now you know it was not put there by God. We've heard the stories of big music picking illegal downloaders seemingly at random and then issuing them subpoenas. But what we haven't heard about is people fighting back. Well, they're starting to. According to P2P.net, 3 single moms from different states are fighting back against what they're calling bullying and mafia-like tactics employed by EMI, Universal, Warner, and Sony BMG. They all insist they have never downloaded illegal music. They say they don't even know how to, yet they find themselves accused. Each woman has hired a lawyer, and they're intent on telling music companies in the RIAA where they can stick it. So in an effort to crack down on piracy, the RIAA is not only suing teenagers, now they're suing innocent people. Man, you guys are a PR dream come true, aren't you? Google Maps, which we already know can be used to look at government buildings and irritate North Korea, may now find a new calling: archaeology. Nature.com has the story of an Italian guy named Luca Mori who, while searching Google Maps, noticed strange rectangular shadows and concluded they may be man-made structures buried underground. He sent his findings to the National Archaeological Museum of Parma, and experts there apparently confirmed it, saying the structure was an ancient Roman villa. No dig has been planned yet, but ceramic pieces have been recovered, and archaeologists are anxious to get their hands dirty. And they better get started, though, because apparently a French archaeologist is using MSN Virtual Earth to steal their find. His name? They call him Beloche. Bad dates. Gentlemen, break out your awful original Ewok stories and your Han Solo, Lando Calrissian slash fiction. Because George Lucas is looking for writers. IGN Entertainment claims that Lucas is seeking writers, for the upcoming Star Wars TV series set to be written in Modesto, California, but filmed in Australia. Rumor has it the show, which is scheduled to run 50 hours, will not only take place between episodes 3 and 4, but will focus heavily on Imperial bounty hunters. I guess there was a time when they did need their scum. Take that, Admiral Piet, you stuck-up prick. Finish the story yourself, Moran. I'm out of here. Finally, a real writing gig. Ha ha ha, ha ha. Okay. That's the feed. May the force be with you.
All right, thank you, Brendan. I'm back with co-director of Tim Burton's Corpse Bride, Mike Johnson. Mike, thank you so much for taking some phone calls. I'm sure they have a lot of questions for you. So let's get to it on the phone. Aaron joins us from Lakeport, California. Are you there, Aaron?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, good. You got a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, how long does like a simple 2-minute scene take to do?
Oh, please don't tell me this is math. I can't.
Yeah, I can't really break it down for you exactly. It would depend a lot on the complexity of the shots and what's involved in the animation. But if an animator could deliver 6 seconds of animation a week, we were doing really well.
Really?
Yeah.
That long?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was our quota.
I mean, was there a particular scene that was so complex it took just weeks to shoot with multiple characters?
Yeah,
or?
the multiple character shots, they added a lot to it. Yeah.
Right. Wow. All right. Andrew joins us on the phone from Stockton, California. Are you there, Andrew?
Yes, I am. How's it going?
It's going fantastic, swimmingly even. You have a question?
First, I got to say the obligatory. I love the show.
Oh, thank you very much. So ask the obligatory question then, please.
Obligatory question is, I wanted to know if your approach as a director changes when you do the still shot films as opposed to live action.
That's a great question.
Most of my experience is working in stop motion, so I haven't directed a lot of live action, but I think the approach is very similar. It's just that stop motion takes a lot longer.
Right. And the actors can be a lot bigger pains.
Yeah.
Right. Aaron joins us on the phone. Another Aaron from Frostburg, Maryland. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Aaron, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing fantastic. You have a question?
Yes. What do you have to say to people who think this is just going to be a Nightmare Before Christmas ripoff?
I would say to those people they should go see the film. Obviously this is done in the tradition of Tim Burton's films, and there's a lot of signature elements to it, but it's a much different film, and we've tried to make a story that works on multiple levels for adults and children. So go see it before you make any judgments.
Nice. I'd have just thrown a rock at him. It's a lot easier. It gets to the point. Nick joins us on the phone. Final question from Springfield. Are you there, Nick?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you got the last slot, buddy. Please take it away.
Okay, I want to ask, do you plan on making a sequel to Corpse Bride?
There's no plan for that in the works right now. Corpse Bride was 3 years to produce, and I think we're all just going to take a little break and just sort of rest a bit.
A couple Mai Tais,
Yeah, a couple
reserve
Mai
a table
Tais
at
would be
Chili's,
nice.
take it easy
Exactly.
for a little while,
Yeah.
maybe like a year or two. Would you be
Exactly.
opposed to doing a sequel to The Corpse Bride, though?
You'd have to ask me in a year or two. Yeah, I just need to take a step back, but it was a lot of fun to do.
Well,
Yeah.
congrats on it again. Thank you
Hey,
so much for
thank
coming
you.
on, Mike. Thanks for
a lot.
answering the calls.
Yeah.
Again, Tim Burton's Corpse Bride is open in select theaters right now, and it opens September 23rd nationwide. Now, don't ever say we don't know what you want, seriously, because when we come back, we'll have those gems of the internet you ordered and something else. We'll figure it out. Come back.
The Feed is brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life.
You know, Brendan,
Yes, Kevin?
anything can call itself a website, but only a select few can call themselves a gem of the internet. We love our gems of the internet, Brendan.
Do we?
I think we do.
We do, actually, even
You
though
know.
it's a Sarah thing.
It is a Sarah thing, and that's before we even get into this. I want to get your take. I was gone last week.
Yes.
Maybe some eBay auctions were shared without me here. How did that go?
There was a lot that went on, actually, in your absence. We used it as a way to kind of like talk bad about you.
Oh.
While you were gone.
Oh.
We took phone calls, actually, discussing what you were like off camera. It was a way for the audience to really understand really who Kevin Pereira is without the monster that we get day to day on the set.
And I'm sure you were all very flattering and very polite and very caring, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Kevin.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to talk about what a skank Sarah is, so let's just get right into our gems of the internet.
Wow.
Let's just go right there. First item, I'm actually having trouble getting some of the websites up, so I don't know how many there will be. But let's just see one of them here. This is Men of the Internet, Brendan.
Men of the Internet.
Yeah, it's a whole collection dedicated to
Wow.
the kind of guys you'd find on the internet.
This is unflattering.
What do you look at this. I mean, I don't know if these even pull up. Let me see here. They
You
probably
click
don't.
on. I believe you click on one, it'll send you to an. This is a
Oh, look at
completely
that.
unexplained website where it's just a lot of sharp-dressed guys showing off.
Wow, look at oh, that's nice.
But there's no actual explanation as to what this could possibly be,
I'm totally fine with that.
other than very handsome men.
This is like the hot or not one repository.
Look at that, dude.
Look at this guy. Wow.
Yeah.
That's creepy to say the least. So let's do just a couple more men in the internet. Hold on, I want to see a couple more pages here. Wow, they've really got an extensive collection there. That is. Where are you?
Is there anybody you know in here?
I don't believe so. I don't believe these look like
You
1,000
should-
guys
That
have
look like
wandered
Paul
into-
Allen, former Tech TV owner,
Yeah.
actually.
You know where's
that dude up there, up the top.
Oh yeah, a
See him?
little bit. I've done many net meeting sessions with guys who look like this when I'm posing as a girl. But the moment I turn the webcam on,
Wait,
they
what?
get.
Start over.
Let's go to another website,
Oh, okay.
shall we? Next up is how about extreme shaving? Woo!
This is a good one. This is like the hot or not of your.
All right,
where
you tell me about this site,
You
'cause
you rank how extreme these guys are with their shaving. Looks like
Okay.
this guy has like a bread knife, and he's shaving with it.
All right, that's pretty hardcore.
Give that a 7. That guy has a sword.
Samurai sword. He's obviously
See,
halfway through a shave.
Less than the actual the electric blade. So let's give him a 4.
Okay, so we're gonna go with 4. Now, is this dedicated only to the facial hair?
I saw somebody with there was a little kid shaving what appeared to be his mother's thigh.
That's
But I didn't know whether
extreme.
that was a link to this site or this was this site.
Right. some sort of flashing banner that got your attention.
See, this guy has a meat cleaver.
Wow.
And
That's
he's in
4.
a tropical setting.
See, I like. There's so many shaving during a boxing match. That's pretty extreme.
That's extreme, but that's not extreme. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. It doesn't get the bass out of the voice. I like this.
There's the kid.
Oh, look, there
actually.
it is. Oh, wow.
There he is, right there.
That is a little. Yeah.
little
How do I buy a pass to that site? Hey. I like this. This is better than all like the Rate My Kittens and the Rate My Face and Rack and Mobile Butts and whatever
Sarah
else.
likes to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? While she's gone, let's
Let's not go trashy.
There's children watching this show.
Exactly. And for those children love Sesame Street. Am I right? All kids do.
I did.
It's what I TiVo when I'm not watching Attack of the Show. And now there's Sesame Street in Klingon.
Would you like to?
I want you to explain this because I have no idea what's going on
Well, I
here.
believe it's just a translation of the opening theme song to Sesame Street. If you look here on the left, sunny day, sweeping the
clouds.
right, clouds. I
And
thought
Pam
maybe
have
this could work well with us. You want to sing along?
Chohannes and
Let's start again.
Edge.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
What?
Pam Hajaj how
Chohannes. Yeah, all right. So that's the Klingon version. And then they took the Klingon and retranslated it back into English so you can hear exactly what the Klingons think they're saying, which is pretty pretty scary, actually. It talks about commencing fleeing, and your clouds are filled with dread, and
Klingons have a lot of issues.
they really do.
Don't you think?
They should try out for an Attack of the Show co-hosting position. You can find all the gem links, past and present, at attackoftheshow.com, but I really don't know why you'd want to. I mean, come on, it's a gem of the internet. When we come back, grab your headlamps and spelunking tools because we're delving down into the game tunnel with Russell Carroll. It's coming up.
Gems of the Internet, brought to you by Newegg.com. Once you know, you Newegg.
On the next Attack of the Show, Fear Factory drummer Raymond Herrera is coming by to talk games and be utterly decimated by me in a drummer's showdown. Plus, if Santa Claus lost a few pounds and discovered hair gel, he'd be just like DV Tuesday's Chris Gore. And we finally picked a new co-host. Let me tell you, he's cool as ice, and if you've got a problem, yo, he'll solve it. That's the next Attack of the Show. Never mind what you've heard.
LucasArts, EA, Rockstar. Who says you have to work for some big corporation to design amazing games? Russell Carroll, editor-in-chief of indie game review site Game Tunnel, is here to show us there's more to a good game than a big logo. Welcome to the show, Russell.
Glad to be back.
Cool. So most people hear the term indie and they think inferior. Why does that stigma still exist?
Well, it's an unfortunate stigma,
Yeah.
and we need to work on fixing that. Really, what that comes from is there's a lot of beginners that start in indie games. That's one reason.
Okay.
Another reason is that they have smaller budgets.
Okay.
Smaller budgets means you can't do as much.
Yeah.
And so I think both of those things tend to affect it.
Okay.
Though there are plenty of really good developers who may have developed in mainstream gaming and then left because they wanted to do their own thing. And so I don't think it's inferior as far as quality goes, but they may be shorter, a little different.
Yeah. Okay. So like at Game Tunnel, you guys have more than just flash games and side scrollers. I mean, tell us about the full spectrum of games that you guys review there.
Yeah, and actually there are really more games coming out that are indie games every month than there are console games.
Okay.
So that's a big number.
Yeah.
And we have just about everything you can think of. We have RPGs, we have strategy games. It's been a great year for strategy games with indie games. And as well, we have action games, adventure games, some sports, but pretty much everything. You'll find it.
And back to the whole indie game thing, I mean, there are some really big games that started off as indie games that kind of exploded, like Fear, I imagine I would say was
Right,
probably
and we have things like Alien Hominid, which has been
Yeah.
out there for everybody to see, and we
Yeah.
have some upcoming things on the Xbox 360 as well.
Cool. And you brought some games by for us to take a look at.
Sure, yeah.
First one is Tribal Trouble. Why don't you just walk us through that really quickly?
Tribal Trouble is a great game.
Okay.
This, of course, they're all great. This game has you playing as drunken Vikings,
Awesome.
really. Yeah. Drunken Vikings, they go out, they get so drunk they can't find their way home.
Okay.
They crash on an island, and, well, there were already inhabitants there.
And mayhem ensues.
And mayhem ensues.
Okay.
So it's a real-time strategy
Okay.
game. There's not a lot of units, though.
Okay.
Only a few
So
buildings.
it's kind of a simple RTS. It's not
Simple.
very complicated.
And what it does is it focus on what is good.
Okay.
Because that more doesn't necessarily mean better.
Yeah, definitely.
And so what it does is it focus on gameplay, 15, 20-minute games.
Okay.
You're in, you're out, and you had a great time.
Okay. And another game you brought along is Mexican Motor Mafia. Why don't you tell us about that one?
Very, very cool game as well. This one has a lot of moody feeling to it. You're looking at clips of kind of the comic book cutscenes at the moment, and then the game, which looks kind of like GTA 2 from
Old
the
school
top.
GTA from
Old
back
school.
in the day. You and I remember it.
Yeah.
The kids probably don't.
And back before that. But you almost would expect Antonio Banderas to walk across the screen. It's got a very desperado kind of Mexican feeling. You run around and blow things up with your car.
Okay.
You're actually trying to fight back against the mafia who apparently killed your family, and so you're the good guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Despite the name title may think you otherwise.
Cool. And finally, we have Jets and Guns, which I'm going to fire up here. And
Yeah, you get to
tell us
play
about
it.
this one.
Jets and Guns, as you are seeing, is a fantastic looking game. I mean, this is just brilliant. Lots of big explosions everywhere. And probably the people at home as well can hear, there's a really good soundtrack that goes with this. In fact, the soundtrack...
Right now, I'm shooting astronauts or something.
You are shooting astronauts. And they're flying off the screen, blood spurting out of them. Usually that's when people buy the game, is when they see that. But it's a really cool game.
You bring up a good point as far as the blood and things are concerned. I mean, is there any, are there ESRB ratings on the games that you guys review there? How does
There
it work?
aren't.
Is there indie? Okay.
There, unless like something like Alien Hominid, which we did review, would have that. But indies have their own kind of little thing that they're doing for that.
Okay.
It is run by the companies themselves, would police themselves.
Cool.
And there's more information about that actually through Indie Gamer.
Cool.
You can find that.
Well, thanks a lot for coming by, Russell.
Absolutely.
Awesome. For links to download these 3 indie games, check out attackoftheshow.com and head over to gametunnel.com where you can find even more indie games. All right, we've got some business to take care of when we get back. And by business, I mean your chat questions. But first, here's a taste of the kind of action Xbox is bringing to the Tokyo Game Show.
before we get to the IRC questions, and I know there's a ton, I'm sure there were probably a bunch about the Revolution controller and what are my thoughts and what are everybody else's thoughts. I don't even know if you guys talked about it last week.
We did.
The show,
We
so.
did right after we saw your report.
What was the consensus here?
The girls, Tina and Laura, were very excited about it.
Good.
Sarah was a bit non-committal.
She's like that sometimes.
I just liked the promo video with the
Crazy
hip
people.
kids going like jumping over the couch, going like.
Right. I'm extreme. I'm playing the guitar and the drums with my controller. Woo! No, actually, I just want to get this out there. I am super excited. I haven't been this excited for something video game related in a long time.
Really?
So, yeah, I just think it could open the door to a whole bunch of new innovative types of gameplay. And I hope it does. I hope developers take it and run with it. So we will see. I haven't actually held it yet, but I can't wait to. All right, let's get to the IRC chat room. What's going on?
First question. Stomu asks, what will Kevin miss most about Japan?
Wow.
Other than
not having to sit on this couch.
Can of worms open.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'll definitely miss the schoolgirls, which there are plenty. There really are.
You should stop talking right now.
What?
And the next
No, there really
question-
are.
Yeah.
The skirts and like knee-high stockings.
They have those here in America, by the way.
You're over 18.
I'm
pal.
just saying, I'm gonna miss them. Moving on. I mean, I'll miss the
Moving on.
pixelation on the
Next.
adult videos. What's the next question?
F-bomb Andy. Kevin, what celebrities did you get mistaken for while in Japan?
Oh wow, that's a great question. Oddly enough, Adam Sessler. They all thought
Wow.
I was from X-Play,
Wow,
and it was a big deal.
That's really upsetting. I'd be insulted.
You all look the same.
Right?
It's the shoulders. It's the broad shoulders.
You're the guy on that video game show, right? Yeah, Fastlane, sure, whatever.
It's
Doesn't
the
matter.
broad shoulders and the soft hands.
Man, he has got a
Soft
hands obsession.
hands? What is
I'm
your
telling
deal?
you. At
I've been
first I
looking
let him
at him all
slide,
day.
but
I'm
now I'm like,
obsessed.
yeah, all right, easy, buddy. Yeah. Like, you want to get your hands on the Revolution controller or me? Take one.
Darkster
It is
asks,
Boy Week.
Hey,
Oh, it's not Boy Week. Just ask the question.
Hey, OTS, what are your favorite NES games?
Well, Will, did you have any old NES games?
I was gonna leave this one over to you because I'm so happy to have you back.
Wait a second. I like the game that I played with Kevin's soft hands. No, I never had an NES.
controller, Kevin.
I never had an NES. I was a Master System kid. So, I mean, there are games that I like, but nothing beats Alex Kidd. That's it. Show's over. Don't worry.
Thanks to our guests, Mike Johnson, Russell Carroll.
Of course, Will O'Neill. Good job, buddy.